I wasn't planning to rescue a cat that day, but then I heard a tiny meow, and everything changed. What started as a simple walk turned into the beginning of an incredible journey with a scruffy little cat who needed a second chance. This is her story. It all started on a typical Tuesday morning. I was walking down the alley behind my building, just going about my day, when I heard it, a soft, almost pitiful meow. I looked around, and there she was. A small, scruffy cat huddled behind a trash can, her fur matted and her eyes wide, as if she couldn't believe I had spotted her. She looked up at me, her big eyes practically screaming, "You're my last hope, human." How could I say no? I'm not gonna lie, I've never been much of a cat person. But something about this little furball made me stop in my tracks. I crouched down slowly, trying not to scare her away. I didn't have any food on me, just my keys and some lint from my pocket, so I did what any rational person would do. I made awkward meowing sounds, hoping she'd see me as one of her own. She didn't, obviously. But she didn't run either, so I took that as a win. After what felt like forever, I reached out my hand. To my surprise, she didn't bolt. She just sniffed my fingers and gave me this look like, "Alright, let's see where this goes." I scooped her up carefully, and that's when I realized this cat was lighter than a bag of chips. She was so thin, I could feel every bone. My heart broke a little, knowing she had been out here, alone, for who knows how long. So, we made our way back to my apartment, her quietly sitting in my arms, probably wondering why she had trusted this weird human in the first place. When we got home, I set her down and opened a can of tuna because, again, not a cat person, no cat food lying around. She devoured it in seconds, as if she hadn't eaten in days, which, let's be real, she probably hadn't. Next came the bath. Now, if you've never bathed a stray cat, let me tell you, it's an extreme sport. I thought it would be like bathing a small dog, quick and easy. Nope. This cat turned into a wild creature the second water touched her fur. She flailed, I flailed, water splashed everywhere. At one point, I was pretty sure she was trying to climb the shower curtain to escape. But after a few minutes of chaos, she was finally clean, or at least, as clean as a cat that had been living on the streets could be. Once she was dried off, I wrapped her in a towel and set her down in a cozy little corner I'd made for her. She curled up almost immediately, as if she hadn't slept on anything soft in forever. It was then that I realized just how exhausted she was. She let out this deep sigh and closed her eyes, completely trusting me now. It was one of those moments where you realize you're not just taking care of them, they're trusting you with their entire world. Over the next few weeks, she transformed. Her once scruffy, matted fur turned soft and shiny. She gained weight, started playing with toys, and even let out these adorable little chirps every time I walked into the room, like she was saying, "Hey, I'm happy you're here." But she was still shy around other people. Every time a friend came over, she'd retreat to her little safe spot under the bed. She was slowly healing, but the scars of her time on the streets was still there. Then came the vet visit. You'd think after everything we'd been through, the bath, the endless cuddles, she'd be okay with a simple vet checkup. But no. The moment we stepped into that clinic, she gave me a look that said, "I trusted you, and this is how you repay me?" She let out the most dramatic meow I've ever heard in my life when the vet tried to check her temperature. But she was healthy, thank goodness. No major issues, just a few scrapes and bruises that would heal with time. Once I knew she was in the clear, it was time to find her a forever home. As much as I'd grown attached to her, I knew I couldn't keep her. I wanted her to have a family who could give her the attention she deserved. That's when I met the Greens. They had been looking for a cat for a while, and the moment they saw her, it was like fate. She walked right up to them, cautiously at first, but then she rubbed against their legs, purring softly. It was like she knew this was her family. Watching her leave with the Greens was bittersweet. I had grown to love this little cat, with her quirky personality and her soft buzz. But seeing her so happy, so comfortable with them, made it all worth it. She wasn't that scared, scruffy cat I'd found in the alley anymore. She was loved, safe, and finally home. And as she curled up in the green's arms, I couldn't help but smile. Sometimes, the best stories don't start with once upon a time. They start with a simple meow and end with a happily ever after.